And let's turn to the sheep market. Could you give us a bit of a rundown of how that's performed this year?
Yeah, definitely. Again, very different to where we were 12 months ago, which is good news. Market started quite strong in those first couple of sales, and then we had a bit of a reality check or a resetting quite early on, which definitely, I think, caused producers to act a bit more considered in their approach, a bit more maybe nervous about what they were going to do. So that caused stability rather than rushing the market or pulling directly out. Saw really quite strong prices over the year, and now coming into the tail end, we're seeing some really nice prices. The heavy lambs are marking over the trade lambs, which is good. I think the message for this year has been quality is king. That poor southern season has meant that if you can reach weights, there will be competition from processors to buy them, and they will pay the money for it. Processing capacity has grown massively over the last couple of years, so they're looking to fill their chains, and it's really coming through the market.
Excellent. And Oliver, how have sheep been performing on AuctionsPlus this year? What can we take from the data that we have?
Yeah, I think a tale of two halves really for sheep on AuctionsPlus this year. The poor finish to 2023 really leaked through into the start of 2024. So we did see some pretty average results to start the year, but that July-August period saw sentiment start to change, and those improved market conditions and prices that we saw through the end of August really held pretty steady for AuctionsPlus. And again, we've had a pretty good finish to the year as well with prices online, so hopefully that continues into the new year for us.
Fantastic. Ripley, what do you see happening with the sheep and lamb market next year?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, and I echo the sentiment of what Ollie and Erin have said. Those producers have been rewarded this year definitely for those trade and heavyweight lambs. They're just not around, and that's why you've counter-cyclically seen the spring flush perform with lambs at $10 because they're just not about, and those big southern areas have just had a shocker of a season, and I believe that's going to carry into next year, Natasha. So MLA Sheep Producer Intention Survey, 10.5 million lambs to go between January and June next year. That's 46% of the lamb crop. So what's going to happen is all those lambs, or not all, but a lot have been pushed out early because the southern guys just haven't been able to feed them or aren't prepared to feed them, and those lambs are going to have to come at some point. So I see it performing quite similarly to this year. We saw the bottom, well, not the bottom, but in the first half of the year, the market bottomed in March. So there is the potential for those lambs to be, grazed over stubble across summer, and they come out, sort of at the end of Q1. You could see some heavy pressure on the market because of that. In the mutton space, MLA's data, again, it's telling you the sheep flock. It's down, the breeding ewe flock's down 9%, but marking rates are up because producers have invested in genetics. So you're still going to see plenty of mutton around. Erin mentioned it. Fundamentally, there's the export demand there. We've got record mutton or record lamb exports. Mutton exports are really running hot, yearly and monthly basis. What's really important is the market's coping with this high supply. So you're not going to have an issue with bottlenecks in supply chains. Processors are killing 700,000 lambs a week. Sheep and lambs, so it's all looking in pretty good shape. But those 10.5 million lambs that producers themselves, not MLA or anyone else, the producers have said they've got 10.5 million to come. They're gonna have to turn up at some point, which we should see some pressure on the market because of it.